Alright, y'all, so I just left Famous's funeral and the vibes was very low, obviously. Streets really claim my son body. Y'all stay safe out here. With all that said though, you would not, as fans, know that this death was very unwarranted. Famous was beloved by fans of Raising Kanan, and the very little light left in the series probably faded with him, I'm not gonna lie. And since the feds gave up on trying to figure out exactly what happened months ago, I'm gonna just go ahead and pick up the case and put out a couple suspects that I have personally. With that said, y'all already know what y'all gotta do. Like, comment, share, subscribe, do all those things. And let's get into some of my suspects on who took out Sean Famous Figueroa. Now, I'm gonna just rule some names that I've heard in the streets on who could have took out Famous potentially. That it could have been, but in my opinion, there's not really enough motive. And the timeline don't really match up for Famous to have been taken out by this particular individual. So for example, I'm gonna start with Ronnie first. I'm ruling Ronnie crazy stuff out because around the time Famous probably would have got hit in season 3 was also around the same time that Kanan was setting up Ronnie to get hit as well. Timelines don't match up, so I really don't think Ronnie could have been the one to take Famous out. Even though he had clear motive, he said that boy talked too much, and he might have. I'm still of the opinion that Famous didn't snitch at all, but based on what his mom said, it's kind of up in the air. I guess we'll never know now though. Damn, rest in peace. Just made me sad all over again. Other suspects I'm ruling out is Detective Garcia himself. I just feel like there's not enough motive there for him to take Famous out. He literally pressed Kanan some episodes ago asking for his whereabouts too, so I really don't see why he would do that to him if he had a hand in what happened to Famous. He's a dirty cop, but I just don't see his motivation for taking out a potential informant. Now, someone else that I've been hearing could have potentially hit Famous is his own pops or step pops, whoever that was in the flashback episode. One of my friends was telling me that he could have been the one to take out Famous because he seen how big he got. Boy was jealous and he took bro out, ended up putting him under a mattress, something like that. Very possible, but also where's the motivation there? Like, yeah, you took out Famous, your own son or surrogate son, but what did you gain from that? It's presumably been months since he's been dead and you nowhere to be found, gang. So yeah, I'm gonna rule those 3 out. I'm gonna get into my real suspects right now. Starting out with my first suspect, I got Jukebox. Now, she was somebody who wasn't really accounted for during psych. I really thought I was about to switch up and jack Jukebox as a suspect in Famous's case. No. Some of y'all are insane for even insinuating that Juke had anything to do with it. How diabolical would that be? That would imply that Famous was essentially her first body. Why would she even do that? What motivation does she even have to take out Famous, y'all? Just sit back and think about it. I know the timing matches up. She probably could have taken him out based on the time, but there was literally no reason for her to take her out. Was she jealous of Famous? She had everything going on with Boutta. I know that got stripped away from her, but I don't understand why she would be jealous of one of her men. We've never even seen Jukebox move that way. Y'all really crazy for saying that. I gotta stop playing and put respect on Juke's name, man. Juke and Famous was like these, for real. Okay, for real, on to my suspects. I actually only really have 3. You might be able to call it 4. We gonna get into that, but for the suspect that's lowest on my list, I got Unique himself. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the timeline actually matches up for Unique to have potentially taken out Famous along the way. We know at the end of 310, we see Unique looking over Ronnie's body, but after the events of 401, we see he was about to take out Lou, so who's to say he probably couldn't have had the opportunity to take out Famous before pulling up to see what happened to Ronnie. It all checks out for Unique to have potentially been somebody to take out Famous, but I don't really believe that the writers would go in this direction, because what would Unique's motive be to take out Famous? Okay, maybe he seen Unique before he wanted to be seen. I know he's trying to move like Ghost now. I said like Ghost, I mean a Ghost. My fault. But even if Famous did see him, I mean, Unique don't know Famous from nowhere. And yeah, Famous would probably recognize Unique because of Unique's name in the street, but Unique don't even know likely that he's affiliated with Kanan. So he would have no reason to take out Famous in that case, even if he was seen. Unless Famous made a big deal out of it being Unique. Maybe he was moving scary in the street. You know, he's being interrogated at this point. They could have encountered each other right after Famous left the interrogation room and things got heated from there. There's the possibility, but I'm not buying it. Moving on to my second most likely candidate in Famous's death, I got Freddy's gang. Yeah, we know Freddy's dead, but I don't got a picture of nobody else in his gang, so we gotta make do what we got. Now, obviously, we know Freddy was done in at the hands of Famous himself. Famous's one and only body in the series. My boy Trigger freaking got happy he took Freddy out. I mean, it be like that sometimes. Now, I don't think we know Freddy's exact position in this gang, but still, the fact that they haven't rolled for him just yet, it just feels a little suspicious, no? I said this before in another video, but I really don't feel like it would be too many suspects in the investigation of what happened to Freddy. From the gang's perspective anyway, it should have either been Kanan or Famous that would have taken him out, especially with the timing and where it happened. But if that wasn't enough evidence to point at either Kanan or Famous, if you just rap genius the lyrics of Famous's What's the 411, you can literally put 2 and 2 together that he for real caught a body and that he's stressing over it real bad. Now we know What's the 411 done took off, and we also see Famous performing the song at Shirley's spot in 401 before Lou went on that drunk bender. And we know between then and the present day storyline of 402, the song done hit the radio. So I wouldn't be surprised if Freddy's gang heard the song playing, put 2 and 2 together, and maybe put hit on Famous. It's very likely that could have happened. They get Retribution for their boy, and I think those are the people that Juke and Kanan are running up on in this next episode or whenever they run up at that basketball court. I think it checks checks out that they didn't want to take Famous out, they might want to take Kanan out too, just for being connected to bro. But they probably heard how bro moving in the streets. They like, nah, we good. We gonna let bro make it. We took his man, he took our man. Bygones be bygones. But I think the show is throwing this plot line in to purposely divert us from what's been in our face since 402. And that's the fact that Marvin, potentially on Rock's order, took out Famous. Walk with me real quick. It makes a lot of sense. With these two suspects, we got both character motivation and story development all in one. I'm telling y'all. Now, if we know one thing about Marvin, other than that brother love to eat, is that he absolutely despises snitches. Look how he's talking about Famous to Lou in the car in 402. Just having a conversation about bro potentially being a snitch is making son sick. He seems to believe Famous is a snitch, but we have multiple sources of people who are saying otherwise. Lou adamantly believes that Famous is not a snitch, and he spent way more time with Famous than Marvin ever has. I don't even think Marvin and Famous shared one on-screen moment together. And Jukebox and Famous are damn near best friends too, so her word on him as a person kind of checks out in my opinion. But you know who else hates snitches? Rock. We literally seen her order a hit out on Scrappy in season 2 just off the mention from Howard that he was an informant. Now, okay, y'all are thinking, well, they hate snitches. Okay, a lot of people hate snitches. That doesn't mean Marvin would take out one of his daughter's best friends, right? And no way Rock would have Marvin do that to Kanan's best friend, right? Nah, they all family. They ride for each other, right? No. The story established in season 1, episode 2 that Rock don't care about none of that. If you even get mentioned as a snitch and you have information potentially on her organization, you're getting capped. You don't even need to be information on the organization. If you are potentially putting Kanan at risk, you're getting capped. Rest in peace, D-Wiz. I already know how the streets operate in power. If word was getting out that Famous was snitching, that's all the green light that Rock and Marvin would have needed to put the hit out on Famous. And if Kanan's hearing it, then Rock's definitely hearing it. Now, with this said, though, I do believe Marvin was the one to take Famous out, but I do think it was also on Rock's order to do so. You know Marvin's reckless as hell. Just look at how he's been moving this season. But I can't see a world where he just takes Famous out like that without at least having a conversation with Rock beforehand. Because the blowback from this kill is going to be insane. He'd have to take all of this into account before taking him out. Yeah, I definitely believe Rock gave him the go-ahead to do so. I don't think that this was the best move by Rock at all, but you know the saying, history repeats itself. We seen Rock already have Lou take out D-Wiz. I would not be surprised or put it above her to have Marvin do the same to another one of Kanan's best friends. Now, the blowback, if this is true on the family, because this goes into the story development point that I was talking about, is going to be too much for the Thomas family to come back from. Nah, Kanan will never be able to trust Marvin and Rock again. That relationship is done for. And Jukebox and Marvin are going to be on worse terms than they were in season 1, I promise. And Lou, too, he's not going to want to have nothing to do with his siblings. So it's going to be the Thomas family at odds. This could also set up why Kanan and Jukebox had a beef for a point in time before getting into the original power. This could honestly be one of the major reasons why both of them end up changing their last names in the original series as well. I just feel like this is too big of an opportunity for the writers to pass up on. I feel like they're building up to this. There's a reason they've been dragging what happened to Famous all of this time, and it's because it's associated with Rock and Marvin directly. And when we get that on-screen reveal that them two did it, ooh, the interaction between the Thomas family is going to be hotter than a Tejada family dinner. I'm telling y'all. But those are all the suspects I have in relation to Famous's murder. Y'all leave in the comments who y'all think is responsible. Who are your top suspects and why do you think they did what they did? If you like my little theory about Marvin and Rock being the ones to potentially take out Famous, this is why I got Power Book 3 as the best spinoff, because the writing of the other two just can't compare. If they pulled this off, oh my god, like the setup is going to be so crazy going into season 5 and Power Origin. Rest in peace, Fame. That's all I got for y'all today. I've been your host, Jay Suave. I hope you've been entertained. We're gonna talk soon. Peace.